Charlie, good morning. How's it going, man?
Matthew, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Glad it's Friday.
Yeah, let's enjoy one more day before the weekend.
Yes, sir. A little bit of sunlight starting to happen here in Charlotte. It's never seen so much rain in my life.
It's been a lot. It's been a lot. And we didn't even get any snow. The whole country got snow and we were spared. So my kids weren't happy about that. But
No, I'm going to hit the slopes tomorrow that I can go snowboarding, which I've not done in years. So
nice.
see some powder tomorrow. So my name is Matthew Johnson. I'm a licensed broker with eXp Realty, here with Charlie Sternberg, principal and owner of CAP Insurance Group here in South Charlotte. And Charlie, thanks for joining me again. I know you're a busy man.
For sure.
Thanks for making the time. So if you would, Charlie, just give a little bit about your background and the business and how you got started.
Yeah, so we are a broker. We're an insurance broker, property and casualty insurance, otherwise known as P&C insurance. In our space, we work with home, auto, umbrella, boat, RV, and we also do business insurance. So about 60% of our book of business at CAP Insurance Group, which is the name of our company, is personal lines, and then 40% is commercial lines. So commercial would be general liability, workers' compensation, errors and omissions, professional liability, that kind of a thing, among other things. So we insure everything from a small mom and pop florist to a giant 700,000 square foot office complex in Jacksonville, Florida. So kind of ranges in size, but we really try to provide a white glove customer service experience for the insurance space. There's a lot of big brokers out there. We focus on the mid-market to smaller clients, so that we feel like that's an underserved population in insurance. And as a broker, we have a number of different companies that we can go to quote. So if, unlike kind of a State Farm agent or an Allstate agent, or even like a 1-800 number company like a Geico, we have options, and we kind of sit on the same side of the table as you, the consumer, and help you make a decision. We don't really care who you go with. We just want you to be with a good carrier with a good rate, and then can help you if you have a claim or something. We're on the same side of the table with you as opposed to those other companies I mentioned, where they're getting their paycheck from the insurance carrier.
Right.
That's what's called a captive company. So yeah.
It's a major differentiator right there.
Yeah.
Having access to those. You work with what, roughly 15 plus companies?
Yeah. So we've got direct appointments with about 15 companies, Travelers, Progressive, Liberty Mutual, Nationwide, Kemper, Penn National, the list goes on. But then we also have access to what's called E&S, excess and surplus carriers. So these would be, if you come to us and you have a harder to place risk, maybe you're a roofer, maybe you are a homeowner and have had lots of claims. We've had folks come to us and their house has burned down before in the last 5 years. Your standard companies are not going to write you if you have some questionable claims history, or if you have a pit bull, or you want, you're really set on having a trampoline in your backyard, or just crazy stuff like that. We have Lloyd's of London. We have a whole different set. So it's about 15 carriers that we write directly with, but then we have, a ton other. I've insured a Formula One racing car at the, British Grand Prix before. I mean, just crazy stuff. Well, for that kind of stuff, you would go to an E&S broker. You obviously couldn't write that with like a Nationwide Insurance or somebody like that. So
right. Okay. Very cool. You may agree. Insurance is a necessity that a lot of folks, I think, don't give enough diligence or thought to.
Right.
What are some of the things that you think the typical consumer might overlook in, say, home insurance that they should be thinking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, look, nobody likes to deal with insurance. Nobody likes to quote it. I mean, it's not a fun experience, and we get that, right? We're not gonna, be kind of ignorant to that. So we try to be engaging. We try to be knowledgeable. We give folks a video quote, that they can watch on their own time at
Sure.
night, Anyway, but when it comes to homeowners insurance, there's a few items that you really need to make sure, especially when you're working with buyers, that they're aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll rattle those off. So the first would be water or sewer backup. So this is an important coverage that in North and South Carolina, which is where we primarily do all of our business,
Mm-hmm.
that coverage is not included in a homeowner's policy. So water backs up to the sewer or the drain line, not covered. So imagine you flush your toilet, water starts pouring out, damages your floors in your bathroom. You call your insurance company, hey, I had some water overflowing. They say, well, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
not covered. So you have to endorse the policy with water or sewer backup. Now that's if it clogs through the drain line. If a pipe bursts in your wall, that's of course covered in a homeowner's policy. Water sewer backup, about $40 a year, gives you $25,000 of coverage. And we've certainly seen claims that come in. We put it on every policy that we write, just because we don't ever want to get that call from a client, hey, this happened and you're not covered. So we just put it on. So that's number one. Number two is jewelry. You think about your contents in the home. Most people don't know that jewelry is only covered up to about $1,500 in a homeowner's policy.
Okay.
And that's only for theft. So your house burns down, none of your jewelry is covered.
Sure.
You want to have a separate jewelry rider. And that goes for things like, men's watches, women's, jewelry, obviously men's jewelry. It can also be for like furs, collectibles, any kind of off the wall thing. A nice set of golf clubs. Maybe you spent, $5-10 grand on a really nice set of golf clubs.
Sure.
Because in a homeowners, you're going to have contents coverage. And that's going to be for things like furniture, clothes, appliances. But there's sublimits for all of the money. Like if you have, a bunch of money at your house, just know that if your house burns down, they're not going to say, oh, we're going to give you $5,000 that you had in your closet. So you want to schedule those things, gold coins, things like that.
Sure.
So that's kind of important. When it comes to contents, talk about water, sewer backup, security systems. So discounts, if you have a security system that's monitored by like ADT or CPI or one of these companies,
Mm-hmm.
you need to mention that you should be getting a discount. It could be $50, $100 a year off your homeowners. We ask that question all the time. And then deductibles, I see folks with $500 homeowners deductibles, and it's like, you're never going to put in a small claim on your homeowners. I have a $2,500 deductible for my homeowners policy.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are at $1,000 or $2,500, just knowing that you're going to self-insure for the small stuff, and you're okay, not putting in a claim for $1,200 or $1,500. You're really using your insurance for those big catastrophic events, the hurricane, the windstorm, the pipe that bursts, you name it. And so you try to keep your premium as low as possible, and you, only use your insurance when you really, really need it. And that helps because, of course, smaller claims are going to drive up your renewal rates on your homeowner's insurance. So those would be the main things. And, the 5 years is kind of the claims window. So if you have a claim, it's going to stay on your record for 5 years and could impact your rate for 5 years, 3 years for sure. And then years 4 and 5, the insurance companies can deny you coverage, but they can't necessarily charge you in years 4 and 5. So 3 years, 2 claims within 3 years, that's where you really get dicey. You may get dropped by your carrier, and that's okay. We don't want to say don't file a claim, but we can shop you around with some other companies. And so that's a long-winded answer to your question, but
Perfect. And all highly valuable tips and bits of information. And funny enough, you and I met by way of a class when I was attending real estate school.
yeah,
And I was looking for someone to partner with on the insurance side.
yeah,
And to me, you were sharing tips just like this, and
Yep.
just fundamental things that people just need to know in a straightforward manner, and really, to me, resonated. And I just think it's, you can't say enough about that information. You mentioned the water, makes me think of the poor folks right now in Texas, who may not
Yeah.
have that type of coverage.
Yeah. I mean, look, I get wanting to go to Geico or one of these other companies and just make a phone call and get your insurance done. But we're trying to be as easy to work with as those guys and provide an extra service. So our rates are going to be the same. You don't pay any extra fees or anything by going through us. We get paid a commission through these insurance companies. It's usually 10 to 15%, depending on the company, full disclosure. And, the rates are just as competitive. What most people don't know is that Geico doesn't even write homeowners insurance. I mean, they run ads for it, but you call Geico, you're going to get put with another company. It's
Travelers,
not
perhaps,
written on Geico paper. So, and you've got someone locally here that can help you. So, I mean, I'm just such a proponent, whether it's cap insurance, doesn't matter. Go find yourself a broker, not a captive company, because they're going to be working with you for your best interests.
I love it. And from personal experience as a consumer, I mean, you saved me out of the gates a lot of money in my homeowners. I had no idea I was overpaying that much. It was pretty shocking. So no brainer.
Yeah, that was a win.
Yeah, certainly. So what drives you and motivates you to do this every day, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, beyond the money and the supporting your family, we got 2 small kids and a wife at home. That's certainly kind of your number one, but we're really trying to build a culture here at Cap Insurance Group. We've got 12 folks that work on our team. We just hired another one, and we've got another girl that's starting in May with us. And so, I don't know. I mean, as an entrepreneur, you kind of want to, you want a place that people enjoy coming to work every day.
Sure.
And we've been really intentional about who we hire, and, they have to really fit our culture. And so I guess you're kind of serving 2 constituents, your home, your family, but then also your team here, and making sure that, we treat everyone with respect. And, my business partner, Andy, and I, we always say we're going to err on the side of generosity. So when we're trying to make decisions, what do we do? Do we, how do we put together this compensation plan for this person? Or how do we, someone sold a life insurance policy recently in our office, and we hadn't really talked about, commission splits and how that all works.
Right.
And so it was kind of, it was like, wow. And it was a big policy. I mean, it was, I think, $8,000 in commissions for this policy, and it was, when the rubber meets the road, and these kind of situations pop up, how are we deciding these things? Are we trying to be greedy and like be more in favor of the company, or let's be generous and try to, let this guy make as much money as possible. And yeah, the company needs to make some money, but at the same time, we're going to have team members that are going to be here for a long time. And so we're just always trying to err on that side.
I love that level of, consciousness to think that way in your business and your family and serving the public. That's all going to pay dividends now and way down the road.
It's funny. You try, and the secret sauce is that if you don't try to make money, you'll make money.
That's right.
If you don't let money be the driver, crazy enough, you just try to add value, and don't worry about the back end. It usually comes back around.
Very well said.
And so, that's why we sponsored Superior Real Estate School for so many years, is that we've always just wanted to be a resource for the realtor community. And we do a lot, whether it be providing clue reports for folks for no charge, which is the claims history on a property, or helping out with, is this home in a flood zone? Is it not in a flood zone? we do all those kind of things for folks at no cost. We just want to be a resource. And we know that eventually someday, whether they need it themselves or they have a buyer moving in from out of town, that they'll send them to us, or hopefully
Right.
they think about us. So that team, helped me out 3 or 4 times on some reports, and they're good to work with. So call them. So I think that's kind of been our mentality.
That's perfect. You're right. If you truly set out to help people, it's all going to work out just fine for
Yep.
in the end. So
That's it.
from a life standpoint, what are some of your highest highs in life just thus far?
Yeah. I mean, obviously having kids, you think about those moments, getting married.
Mhm.
I've been married for close to 14 years now, and
Okay.
got a 9-year-old boy and 11-year-old girl, and just thankful every day, for health and happiness, and
Sure.
um, you know, uh, big life moments. We moved to Charlotte right about 14 years ago, and that was a great moment. My background, just to give a little history, is I haven't always been in insurance. I spent really 15 years working at ABC television stations in a sales capacity. So first in Orlando, Florida, at the ABC down there, and then moved up here to Charlotte and worked at WSOC, which is the ABC affiliate here in town. And so, uh, you know, I kind of left the TV world to get into insurance because I wanted to own my own business, and I wanted to kind of control my own fate more than working for a corporate company where, you know, they can kind of do what they want. And I wanted to build something, and so I think about, exciting moments in my life. Certainly the career transition. At
Mhm.
age 37, I'm 42 now. That was a scary moment for sure,
Sure.
but
Mhm.
looking back, kind of a really cool moment. I partnered up with Andy Sturge, who's my business partner, and he had an agency for 5 years prior. So he needed some help, growing, and I knew sales and he knew insurance. And so we worked together and have really taken off, which has been fun to watch. But yeah, family, the business change, certainly highs.
Great. And pare down to that, what are some of the lowest lows, and how'd you get through those times?
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly going through one now, right? The whole
Mhm.
country with pandemics, and my wife recently lost her mom, which was really tough for us. She was real close to her mom. She passed away from cancer, and it was
Mm.
quick. And so I'd really say, I mean, it's funny, it's on the forefront of my mind, but you know, it's been really tough navigating with my wife's situation, and us kids losing their grandma,
Sure.
and the pandemic has created a lot of tension and angst within my own family, and I'm sure
Sure.
other people have experienced this, where maybe you know one set of parents doesn't take the pandemic maybe as seriously as you do, but
Right.
so you're trying to figure out, how do we see each other, and
Sure.
then there's a lot of resentment there. So um yeah, I mean, this last 18 months have been really tough, and uh, you have to rely on your faith. You have to rely, for us, we go to Forest Hill Church, and would say that we're professing Christians, and um, so you try to make that be kind of your true north, if you will, and realize that this world is a broken place. It's messed up. We're sinful, messed up people. We're all messed up,
Yes, we
whether
are.
you're a Christian or not. And so you put your faith in what's to come, and not the present time, and just work through it, and know that sometimes, and I've experienced this a lot of times, and I'm sure other people have, is that when you have a really bad experience in life, at the moment you think it's really, really bad, and you but when you step back in 10 years from now, you'll realize maybe there was a purpose in the pain, or maybe there was, God had another plan for what was going on. And I know for me, going through a transition, a career transition, where I was like, man, why am I so unhappy at the TV station? Leaving a very lucrative job to basically start at zero, and to try to build something. At the moment, I was like, it was a really difficult place to be in. But now looking back, 5 years later, you go, this was the greatest decision, the greatest thing that ever happened to me. But in the moment, you're saying, why, God, why am I so discontented, at this situation? So I think those, I remember reading a story about Rick Warren, who was the megachurch pastor out in California.
Sure.
And he had talked about how his daughter was giving birth and the baby was coming prematurely, like 8 weeks premature. It was a really scary time. They had to do a C-section. And in the moment, you think this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. This baby's coming early. There's a chance that it could die. Why in the world is this happening to us? And then she found out, 8 weeks later, when she was supposed to give birth, his daughter found out that she had a brain aneurysm. Young, healthy woman was having headaches.
Right.
Turned out if she would have given birth naturally to that baby, when, it would have burst the aneurysm, she would have died right there, no questions asked. And so, he talked about, we see this little thing, you have to pull back. God sees the tapestry of life. I'm not saying every situation has an explanation like that. But I think there's a lot of instances like that where you think something's really bad, but maybe there's a greater purpose, and you just got to trust that.
Rejection is God's protection sometimes, right?
For sure.
Great share, man. A lot of power and a lot of your comments there. Thank you for being vulnerable, and a lot to unpack there, but all very well said.
Yeah.
And
we're all messed up, right? Everybody puts on this outer shell, like we're all buttoned up and professional and great. But,
sure.
At the core, everyone's got family issues. Everybody's going through some kind of health, something. So I've kind of adopted this attitude, let's just be transparent and be real with each other, because we're only here for a little time. And so anyway.
I couldn't agree more. At the end of the day, all you got is relationships, really.
That's it.
In life, I think. And Charlie, I appreciate you making the time, man. I really do. And good to get to know you even better in this interview.
Yeah. No, I thank you for having me on, and wish you continued success. And
thank you.
Sounds like you got it going on. EXP's got it going on. And so, as we talked earlier, we just need some more inventory,
Yes, we do. And, can't predict the future, but I'm optimistic, and I believe the next several months we'll see some bright spots present themselves, and we'll be fine.
For sure.
All in due time. In the meantime, we got to work hard and make the best of
that's it.
Every day. So, folks, if you want to reach Charlie, give him a ring at 704-295-8810, or check him out at capinsurancegroup.com.
Thanks for the plug.
You bet, buddy. Thanks for your time, and enjoy the weekend. Hopefully the sun shines on us.
That's it. Yeah, we'll get outside and enjoy it, because we've been cooped up all week for sure.
Yeah. Charlie, thank you again, buddy.
Yep. Thanks for having me. See you, everybody.
Talk soon.
Yep.
Thank you.